So how do you ask for a letter of recommendation? In my career, I must have written perhaps hundreds of letters of recommendation, whether it's for students applying to be in clubs or for credential candidates applying to get into the credential or for student teacher candidates looking for jobs. Once again, I must have written hundreds of letters of recommendation. And so how do you ask for a letter of recommendation? I just recently got a request from one of my previous Cal State Fullerton students who is applying to get into the teacher credential program. And with her permission, she's allowing me to use her letter because I felt it was exemplary, an exemplary example of how to ask for a letter of recommendation. First of all, as I look back, I do remember this student, Natalie Bouchard, by the way. Natalie Bouchard, who was an amazing student in my spring 2021 cohort at Cal State Fullerton, my EDSC 304 course. And she was just phenomenal. I do remember her, so just really a positive impression. But as you listen to this letter, I think it'll give you ideas as well on how you can request for a letter of recommendation. So with her permission, I'm reading portions of her letter of recommendation, and I'll just share some of my commentary as I read her letter. Dear Dr. Kim, I hope this email finds you well as the fall semester ends, and that you and your family are continuing to stay safe and healthy during these winter months. And just really nice intro, right? I had the pleasure of taking your EDSC 304 class in spring 2021 and was inspired by your authentic enthusiasm for teaching every Monday afternoon. Okay, so now she's kind of reminding me of the class that she was a part of, because sometimes, because I'm teaching multiple cohorts, I have multiple students, I have students all over the place. I mean, sometimes you can forget exactly which group they were a part of, but here she is kind of reminding me of that. Continuing. Not only did you give me the opportunity to create a digital unit resources website that I am proud of, your advice on how to engage my future students has influenced me in all my EDSC and French courses at Cal State University Fullerton. Wow, I mean, that's the reason why I'm a teacher, because I want to be a positive influence for others. And here she is kind of connecting with that. And I do remember her digital unit resources website, which was phenomenal and exemplar. And I'll go ahead and put it in the description just so you have a chance to see what a phenomenal digital unit resources website looks like. And I did tell the students, hey, this could be like a working portfolio for you. Don't just do this assignment for me and just to kind of check it off. But I challenge you that you would really teach this lesson. You would really use these resources for your future class. And so hers was definitely exemplar. My aspiration is to become a French high school teacher, and I'm on track to apply for the fall 2022 single subject credential program if I pass my third and final CSET subtest this January. So wishing you the best on, I'm sure you're going to do great on that CSET subtest. And Natalie, I'm just going to say, I hope you also apply for the intern program, because in addition to the student teaching route, there's also the intern teaching route, which for strong candidates can also be an option to get paid for that first year. All right, continuing on. I'm writing to see if you'd be willing to write a letter of recommendation for the program. I believe the work I completed in your class best expresses my passion for becoming an educator, as learning about what it means to be an empowered learner and creative communicator has enabled me to see teaching from a new perspective in which the classroom is student-centered and thrives on hands-on learning that is enhanced by technology. Oh, I love this. I love this. So, she wants to be a French teacher, right, Natalie? But do you see how she really focuses in not on what she's interested in teaching, but student-centered learning, what she wants to see her students doing. She's excited to work with students. She's excited to support students. This is really important to see an emerging educator, right? I apologize for contacting you at such a busy time of the year, but I want to reach out well ahead of the February 15th deadline in the hopes that you might be available to speak to my passion for teaching and ability to integrate technology into my blooming pedagogy. Yes, so it is kind of a busy time during the school year. We're wrapping up the semester, is busy. But you see how she is like sending me the request way before the deadline. The deadline's February the 15th. I've gotten some recommendation requests, and sometimes it was like a week before or something like that. So it really helps to have it in advance. But nonetheless, I like to, if someone asks me for a letter of recommendation, I like to just immediately respond quickly. So within the week, respond, because sometimes if I don't remember quickly, I can easily forget, and I know it's important to them. So I try to do it early. So actually, I've responded to Natalie. I obviously, you can tell she's an amazing candidate, and I've submitted a letter of recommendation on her behalf, just to let you all know. And then she also, here's a link to the DUR website I created for a class, 24 hours in France, where I integrated online resources that will allow my 9th and 10th grade students to live in France for a day. I hope this digital unit will motivate and inspire my future students to incorporate aspects of the French language or culture into their everyday lives. So once again, an amazing PBL opportunity for their students so that they can really envision, without even going to France, what it would be like, right? So they get to kind of explore that, and perhaps one day, because they've done the planning in advance, they thought about it, maybe that creates some opportunities later down the line. So really cool. I'm not gonna, there's more to this line. I'm not gonna read every single line, but then she continues to talk about another course, EDSC 340, where she created another website building on the lessons that she learned from the 304 course. So what a blessing to kind of see that, like the things that she learned in 304, she was able to apply to other courses. And of course, that the skill of being able to design, put together your learning management system, that's not only a skill that you need in credentialing classes. Teachers need to know how to do this as well. So the fact that she's able to apply this to another course, and I know she had a future course also apply it to her course, I know she'd do an excellent job with that, and I'm glad to see that that skill was transferable. And then she just continues to share on how she's just keeping her skills sharp, and how she's attending an online conversation class through Kakao, where she's able to converse with native French speakers to further develop her skills. That's really awesome to just kind of just hear her story, her journey, her preparation, and she shares more about that. And then, now getting to her request, please let me know if you feel comfortable endorsing my candidacy for the single subject teaching credential program at CSUF. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have and provide further information that would help you write your recommendation. Once again, just amazing letter of recommendation. And she was also an amazing student. And also she reminded me of the links and the work that she did. And so I'm primed and ready to write this letter of recommendation. Because she talked about what she's doing, it makes it so much easier for me as a person writing the recommendation to be really specific too about the things that she's done, so that in my letter I could be very specific rather than have just a general letter of recommendation. And then finally she concludes with a genuine thank you. Thank you for inspiring me to become an educator that does more than simply teach content standards, and instead makes students feel seen and heard as they learn about themselves, their passion, and their purpose. I genuinely appreciate your consideration and support. Wow, I'm so blessed that she was able to take that passion that for students away from that course. She saw that in the course. Once again, this is an integrating technology into the curriculum course. It could be very, I think it could potentially not include all those things, right? But for me, when it comes to any educational course, it's about students coming first, really thinking about the students, really tailoring instructions around students. So how can you not have that passion in your heart and convey it? But sometimes it's seen and sometimes it's not seen. But to see Natalie Bouchard talk about and seeing that and wanting to do that in her own class, that was really a pleasure for me to see. And then finally, she just makes it very clear what it is that she needs, that letter of recommendation. And then in addition to that, she provides links to all those resources that's going to refresh my memory on the kind of caliber of student she is, the kind of caliber of potential teacher that she is as well. Links to the Digital Unit Resources website, which is work that she submitted for my course, all organized, which is now a working portfolio, how she applied it for other courses, resume, and all that other information as well. So, wow. Just this very great letter of recommendation. And so I hope this is helpful for you as you're kind of thinking about your next step. If you're a student teacher looking for a teaching position, if you're a student at Cal State Fullerton or looking into getting into the Credential program, or if you're a high school student looking to request a letter of recommendation for college, here is a great example of someone who did a wonderful job at this. And so when I was writing the letter of recommendation, I'm just pleased and happy to do it. Just so thankful and also wanting to support. So wish you guys the best. If this tip was helpful to you, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I have about one video a week coming out where I share different tips on education. Could be classroom management, could be on student teaching, ethnic studies and ethnographies, project-based learning, and more. This is Dr. Jeff from Ed Family, signing out.